GAN, and the 3XS G10 Deep Learning Workstation, powering the deep learning revolution. Artificial intelligence is the creation of machines which use techniques inspired by the human brain's ability to learn. Until recently, we simply didn't have enough data and processing power to train a machine to learn in a reasonable amount of time. But making the necessary connections and inferences between known and new experiences is now possible. Through deep learning, machines process increasingly higher level layers of information so as to recognise objects or concepts.
The difference between deep learning and machine learning is that it uses the kind of deep, layered techniques that our human brain uses. So basically, the first thing that a human learns is edge detection. This is the first thing that a machine learns as well, and that's the first layer. It will pick up edges, then it will pick up groups of edges, then it will add more features in each of these separate layers. It's kind of levels of abstraction, going from low to high level features.
Processing the quantity of data necessary for deep learning requires the power of GPUs, graphical processing units. Originally created to deliver realistic and responsive graphics for video gaming, powerful GPUs are now being used for this more scientific purpose.
The GPUs themselves have multiple thousands of cores, the level that you need for deep learning, and they can all work in parallel simultaneously on the kind of mathematical operations that are so relevant to deep learning, because every object that you're working with, whether it's an image or whether it's speech, can be translated into digital format. And you can create groups or matrices of numbers with it. And really what you're doing is you're just manipulating matrices. And you're doing thousands and thousands, even trillions of mathematical operations. And that's exactly what a GPU was built to do. I would say every facet of life is going to be touched by deep learning. Personally, I hope it's healthcare first.
Deep learning will revolutionise healthcare. In the detection of cancer, for example, a deep learning system could assess many thousands of images to spot anomalies in cell division, assisting trained pathologists in their investigations.
So a deep learning system could actually look through 500 of these images in seconds, and it will gain the same accuracy even after a long 12-hour shift, and then switch to that human factor that is just so integral in something like cancer. It can flag that image, the trained pathologist can come in and talk to the patient about it.
Deep learning has potential application in every field.
You have the kind of ability where everything's going to be assisted. Some things are automated. Every time we get in a plane and we fly somewhere exotic, after the actual takeoff, the pilot will flick over to automated. So it's not quite that scary when you actually think just how much is going on already. Deep learning allows us to take the glut of information that we all create, business, personal, and analyse that information. Everybody knows about Amazon. When you go and buy something, it's second guessing your next purchase. And that's because what it's doing is it's analysing your behaviour, not just that day, but the weeks beforehand. And it's making inference. It's best guessing what your next behaviour may be. So for retail, this is huge.
Deep learning frameworks such as Caffe, Torch and Theano provide the building blocks to create efficient deep learning applications. With Digits, the interactive platform for visualization and customization of deep neural networks, you have the capacity for full control over bespoke neural network architecture, including the ability to train multiple neural networks in parallel and monitor them in real time. Here at SCAN, we've created the 3XS Deep Learning G10 workstation, the perfect companion for research and development with Nvidia's Digits software.
Digits Deep Learning GPU training system is an incredibly powerful visualization, customization, and designing software package that lets the user modify, build, create the perfect deep learning system for the particular application. Digits creates visualization of the actual goings on within a deep learning system. It shows you the breakdown of, for example, an image in those layers that we talked about.
The combination of GPU horsepower and big data availability is powering the progress within deep learning.
Without the processing power, you couldn't do anything. It takes between 3 and 5 years for humans to learn numbers, and some of the infinite different combinations of numbers. If you train a system with a CPU, it can learn to recognize numbers in around a day, 12 to 24 hours depending on the CPU itself. With a GPU, it takes less than an hour.
GPUs, like Nvidia's GeForce Titan X, the most advanced graphics card on the planet, will allow the world's top laboratories and industry to continue to develop deep learning techniques. SCAN and the 3XS G10 Deep Learning Workstation are proud to power this revolution.